How do you get people to stop judging and critiquing what you eat? Put another way, how do you take away the whistle from the food police? Welcome, I'm Sheri Traxler with youre, Life, author of Go Forward, 28 Days to Eat, Move, and Enjoy Life God's Way. This is confession time. I used to be one of those food police. For myself, a lot, but also for other people, and I didn't even know it. Remember one time I was at a little restaurant with my family, and I was really in the heyday of, getting into diets. And I was looking at my dad's plate and my mom's plate and everybody and analyzing what was on their plate. Not just, nutritional stuff, but, their calories it was bad. And my dad looked at me and it's like, can I just eat in peace without you judging what I'm eating? It's like, I didn't even realize I was judging in the sense of I wasn't doing it to try to make them feel bad. So sometimes you may feel like somebody's judging or critiquing you and they're just into nutrition or into whatever it is. It still hurts though, right? Because I've had people do that to me. And of course I've done it to myself. The good news is because of that, I learned how to just, look at my stuff, which was bad, but look at my stuff and, not really judge and critique other people. So much so, I was proud to say, by the time I was in grad school, I was working at a summer camp and as a rec director, and one of the other counselors said, "You are one of the first rec directors I've ever enjoyed being around because you don't judge what I'm doing, what I'm eating." I'm like, "Oh, good. I'm not coming across that way anymore. I'd really worked on that." Of course, years later, I'd worked on me enough that I wasn't judging my own stuff the way that I did as a kid. But when other people are judging you, what do you do? How do you take away that whistle? All right, here's what we're going to talk about. Number one, I've mentioned, recognize they may or may not know what they're doing. Give them a little bit of grace. But number two, also know that you own you. They don't. You are responsible for your body. They really don't have a right to it. It's a boundary issue. They don't have a right to say what you need to eat, when you need to eat, how much you need to eat. Only you can determine that for you. Once you accept that they may or may not mean anything by it, and regardless, they don't have a right to speak to it, now how do you communicate with them? This is where one of my favorite books on boundaries comes in. Anything by Henry Cloud or John Townsend on boundaries. Get their books if you need to have conversations with people about boundaries. This one in particular, how to have the difficult conversation you've been avoiding. They actually give scripts and step-by-step of what to do, not just the fact you've got a right to set boundaries. You have a right to say, this is my body, it's my responsibility, therefore it's my right, not yours. But they give you scripts on how to do this. Specific to somebody crossing that boundary on your eating, this is one I have found very, very helpful. Use the formula, when you do A, I feel B. And I'm not going to read the whole chapter to you. You get the book and read it, but I want to point out some of the highlights. One is concentrate on feelings, not thoughts. Concentrate on what you are feeling, not what you're thinking related to them saying, "Oh, I thought you were going to, stop eating sugar," or "I thought you were going to give up sodas," or I thought you were watching your weight," or "I thought whatever." Identify what you're feeling. Know the difference between being hurt, sad, angry, frustrated, afraid, and anxious. When you understand what you're feeling when somebody crosses that boundary, you're able to better communicate that with them. Stick to your experience. In the same vein, stick to your own experience, not what you think the other person is doing. So my dad thought that I was critiquing and judging him. I wasn't. I was just really interested in all the different foods, but by doing an analysis of what everybody was eating, of course, it made them feel like I was judging them. So stick to your experience, not what you think the other person is doing, because here's what happens. Of course, fortunately for me, I was like, oh, sorry, but if you misidentify what they're doing, then they're going to get defensive on that, and it's not going to actually resolve the issue. Avoid the statement, and this is going to sound weird, you make me feel. When you do A, I feel B, sounds a lot like you make me feel, but they're actually different. So to say, you make me feel angry, you make me feel whatever, is not as helpful as when you talk about my choice of what I'm eating, I feel B, is very different. I remember I was at and I didn't even plan on telling this story. I'm hoping that the person involved in this, actually, I want everybody watching my videos, please share these videos, and hopefully the person that's involved in this story won't see this one. And if they do, we just need to have a boundary conversation. I was at a dinner with some individuals, and I didn't get one thing, and I was really hungry because I had just finished a lot of activity, so I ended up with a slightly larger helping of something else. I don't even remember what it was, but this person looked at me and said, "You're going to eat that much?" And I'd done enough boundary work that I could respond, but I didn't do enough to, go immediately into, when you said that, it made me feel whatever. I just looked at them and said, this is my stomach, this is my plate, let me handle it. That's probably not the Henry Cloud and John Townsend best way to do it, but that's what we did, and it did shut down the conversation, and we were all ate in peace. Anyway, when you do XYZ, when you say, you're going to eat that much, it makes me feel blank. Own your part of the feelings. You're not ascribing fault as much as a window into your heart so the person can be drawn into your world. And be specific, specific, specific. So do not be vague. Give very clear examples and words that are used. Hope that this helps you. Let me know in the comments if you have dealt with people who are judging and critiquing of your food and how you've handled it, what you have said to them, what you have done to take the whistle out of those food police. Thanks for being here. Remember to subscribe, click that notification bell so that you get all of these videos. And until next time, find your path and fulfill your unique potential.